Murdoch. I'm coming to get you.
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last? I lied. Get off my plane.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
John, I'm not gonna shoot you between the eyes. Shoot you between the balls.
The disease. And I'm the cure.
I'm gonna take you to the bank, Senator Trent. There can be only one.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Yippee-ki-yay. I'm going to kill them all, sir.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Gimme Back My Action Movies Month of Action. Oh, the eagle is still here. As am I, your host, Charlie. And with me, as always, is Pete. Say hello to the people. Pete.
Hey, this is the month of action. Yeah, I just wanted to get another one of those in.
He's just testing the waters.
Just testing the button, yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, we still don't have Nate. He is on sabbatical on some foreign island, possibly overthrowing a small country. We're not 100% sure.
Boy, I hope so. We should give an invite then.
We should. But for some reason, he didn't think me and Pete could pull this off by ourselves. So he's like out inviting people randomly to show up on the show.
The son of a bitch on the chat last night.
Oh my God. Wine.
I bet you had a really shitty show the other night.
Yeah, sucked. So we found out that we have co-hosts with us tonight, and Nate said it took two to fill his seat. So I was like, okay,
did you hear that?
fine.
Oh yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah, you're not really friends with him, but we did bring over the fellas from The Evil Deaths. We like to call them the T.E.D Show. We have Josh. Say hello, Josh.
Never surrender. Just invite us onto your podcast.
Yes.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And finally, for the first time on our show, even though Pete doesn't remember, we got Bert. Say hello, Bert.
I got let out of the basement for this one.
Yeah, the poop was building up in there, so I figured I might as well kill two birds with one stone, let them out, and clean the cage.
I called CPS just to see if they could get somebody down there to check on you, but I never got a call back.
You.
So I'm glad we.
Well, no, they showed up, but I just shaved my head and left a ponytail, and then dipped my hands in glass, and they were like, "All right."
In front of them, you did it.
Check. Okay, here.
We're just gonna check off right off this clipboard. Thank you, sir. Have a nice day,
dude.
But yes, his name's not Bert; it's Brett. But the joke is that we just call him whatever the hell we want because he doesn't show up anywhere.
I don't. I can't get out of the basement, but I'm here today.
That's right. He is here today. And Josh was here on a couple of episodes, our ever infamous impromptu Carnosaur episode, which was a lot of chaos and a lot of fun.
It was so much fun.
And I think he was on a Pete pick, wasn't he? He did
Ultraman.
That's what it was. Or
no, it was
Inframan. Sorry.
Inframan. There you go.
Super Inframan. Close.
Yeah,
close enough.
I'm glad he screwed it up and I didn't, because I was sitting here going, I know it was another one. What was it? I can't remember.
Wait. Ultraman. It's really close.
Yeah.
Just not
Turbo Man.
Monster in a speedboat. That's what I liked.
Two monsters in a speedboat. Oh, that was great.
Right. Oh, so we are, man, this month is flying by way too fast, Pete, because we are already on our fourth episode of the month of action. And we are covering what I even deemed as another Be Nice to Pete movie. As I'm told I don't pick enough martial arts. I'm told I don't do enough kung fu and fighting and stuff. So I went, well, we're going to get Charlie's style of fighting. We're doing Jean-Claude Van Damme's Kickboxer tonight.
Sure did.
Man. This is a classic. This is up there as the best Van Damme movies, by far. But before we jump right into this, of course, I have a trailer, and we are going to rock it right now.
Heavyweight champion of the world, Eric Sloan! Now that you've beaten everyone there is to beat, what's next?
Take on the world's best. Show him who's boss.
What about Thailand.
I understand kickboxing was invented there, and they're the best at it.
Hey, Rick, don't do it. I saw the look in his eyes. This guy's crazy. I'm the best. This is just another chance for me to prove it.
Your brother is paralyzed. He can never walk again.
He's going to pay for this. Tell me where he is.
Only way you'll find him is inside the ring, and you are not good enough! You're really serious about this Muay Thai? What do you think? I think you're out of your mind. If I can't stop you, I might know somebody who'll train you.
Revenge is a dangerous motive. You fight before?
Yeah.
It's trained different in America. Your defense stinks.
Teach me.
You must learn to be faster than any punch or kick.
I want to go!
I don't want you to fight him.
He put you in that wheelchair for life.
And I don't want you in one alongside me.
I'll win that fight. For you and me.
Tong Po is a killer. He's not going to let you out of that ring alive.
No. I can beat him.
Now, Pete, I got to say, for trailers, this is definitely one, if you had never seen this movie, it doesn't give too much away. It kind of sets the stage.
It gives a broad stroke of what this movie is about. It's a revenge movie, I guess.
But in hindsight, though, it that kind of is the movie.
Yeah, it's true.
Like,
yeah, it is.
That was something I definitely want to get into on how you would even really classify this, but we'll do that right after we do this part. I want to get everyone's back history with Kickboxer, and I say we're going to start with our guests. We're going to start with our brand new guests. Brett, what is your first memory of Kickboxer?
Kickboxer, the funny thing is when we were doing this, Josh told me about it. For some reason, I pictured Lionheart in my head and not Kickboxer. And when I was watching this, I was like, this is not the movie I thought it was. Because I haven't watched this probably since I was teenager, maybe.
Sure.
And Kickboxer, the part I remember most is him just kicking Kung Pao in the face at the end against the statue and him sliding down.
You call him Kung Pao?
I was calling him Kung Lao before, and Joshua was like, what? I was like, I don't know, dude. Kung Pao, Kung Lao. But yeah, when he kicks him in the face and he slides on the statue, that's like the part I remember like most vividly from when I was a child.
So, Josh, what about you, brother? What's your first memory with Kickboxer?
Thanks for asking, Charlie.
Anytime.
So, I remember a couple of things very distinctly. The scene where they're putting their hands, like, was it like honey or pine tar or some shit like that?
I think it's resin.
Resin. And then they're dipping them in the glass. And then I remember Tong Po's creepy ass face, like with his weird, like cross-eyed sometime, and him just being like terrifying. And and the scene in the beginning where fucking Dennis Alexio and him are gonna fight, because I can't remember his actual name, his brother. And he's like shooting himself up with some like crazy shit or something, right? Didn't that happen?
No,
I thought wait, what am I thinking of then?
I don't know.
I thought like somebody was doing some weird fucking crazy drug.
No.
Oh wait, is that fucking Chong Li in Bloodsport? Or am I just like this weird crazy memory?
I think you're mixing up a lot of movies.
You're mixing up a bunch of them.
You did watch this before you came on, right?
He was watching it when I got here.
But no, this is like a weird fucking thing that I have.
No,
of, like
drugs in this one.
My memory from seeing it as a kid had that in it, but I didn't see it this time.
Yeah, I think you're mixing like several movies because it's could been a little bit of Universal Soldier where they had the steroid drug.
Yeah.
Chong Li does do the crushed up antacid tablets and throws them in Van Damme's face, and he's kind of slid to him by his helper in the ring. There's a lot. Also, fun fact, you guys were talking about whether this was like Lionheart or something. If you look up like on sometimes even Amazon or Tubi, they will flip flop Lionheart and Death Warrant because they both came out at the same time, and one picture will be promoting one and the other picture's promoting the other. Like they can't figure out what movie is what.
It's because the post Bloodsport is it Lionheart?
It's Lionheart
and Kickboxer have the exact same cover.
No, it's Death Warrant. They almost have the same cover because he's in
but
that.
Kickboxer's the same thing. He stands to the side and no,
he's not got his shirt on in Kickboxer.
Oh, you'd notice that.
Well, dude, of course I'm going to notice it, man.
But also,
I'm a Van Damme stan, sir. Thank you very much.
I searched for this to watch it, and it said it was on Amazon Prime. So I clicked on it, and it was like a completely different movie. It was like,
oh no,
the legend of the kickboxer champion from somewhere, or whatever, and it was like a Chinese movie or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
So then
this was on Tubi.
Yeah.
Thankfully we had to watch this early because mine says expires in 4 days.
Same.
Yep,
I was
that
like,
mine. Yep.
I mean, I own it, but for everyone else's sanity, just making sure they all had it. Because I went and got that steel book from Walmart that they just did for like $20. It's not 4K, it's Blu-ray, but it's still beautiful.
It's fine enough. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It wasn't high quality film, I would imagine.
No, probably not. But
No.
Pete, what about you? What's your first memories of Kickboxer?
Much like Bart, I saw this as a young person. I would get what year was this? I forget. Already.
89.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I probably rented it 90, 91, something like that, because it was Van Damme, and everybody watched Van Damme movies, and I remember it being a lot of fun. At the time, it was like, this is really cool. I've never seen anything like this. And then as I age and watch other movies, I'm like, oh, it's just
this all over
to,
again.
Yeah, it's the same goddamn thing over and over again. It doesn't take away from the film. It's just like, oh, well, young eyes, older eyes. It's gotten to be a trope, I guess, but these long training montages.
It's very similar to Bloodsport.
Yes.
Well,
like almost the same
and
movie.
the same actor. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't mean just within the Van Damme world. I mean with all the classic kung fu movies.
Oh yeah.
They all have
films.
they're almost all of them has the same kind of beats that this.
Well,
this
Tarantino even did homages to it with the Kill Bill series, where she goes and trains. It feels very much like these, I mean, he's going off of even the older, Japanese, Chinese, all those films. So yeah, it's tropey, but at the time when this came out, no one really realized it was a trope,
Yeah, I don't know.
Not in '89. I mean, for American audiences.
Well, there was a surge of ninja movies.
Yeah,
American
canonized
ninja.
ones. Because
okay.
Yeah. That those are totally different. That's on the other show, Pete.
That's the one with the ninja guns, right?
Ninja guns.
Which we got at the end of this one too. I could just see Charlie's little heart just swelling. Oh, I got my machine guns at the end of this one.
So happy.
Okay,
happy.
Charlie, you're up.
Well,
clearly you've been a fan for a long time.
I have been a fan of Van Damme for a long time, which is weird because my dad really isn't a fan of Van Damme. I know we've talked about it before. Dad has always been like, I watch Van Damme movies. He gets his ass kicked, and then he comes back at the end and he wins. That's every Van Damme movie. And I'm like,
Gamera does that too.
Yeah, but I'm like, yeah, but that's a lot of action heroes.
Rocky.
I just think he thinks Van Damme did it more. He did introduce me to Van Damme through Universal Soldier, because that was more action than martial arts. And then after that, it was, I want to see more. So I was renting his entire catalog around 94, 95. I was getting them, especially after I had seen Hard Target, when I started seeing peak Van Damme, watching his old stuff like Black Eagle, the Bloodsports, Kickboxer, obviously. Then found out there was more Kickboxer movies that are actually fucking good and people should be watching those. They can carry on the story with a younger third brother that is never mentioned in this movie at all. But no, I am a huge fan of even Kickboxer, and we can jump into it now. Is watching this, like you said, with adult eyes, Pete, you realize this is kind of drama-ish for the first 40 minutes or so. It's just setting the stage for the end.
It's a lot of talk. It's a long journey. It's a lot of talking. It's a lot of character development, question mark.
Yeah. All intertwined with training. So the trope we're used to is a montage, gonna do a montage. This one, but this one isn't what you're what we make fun of with a montage, it's literally we're just watching him train progressively as the movie goes. And, we see what I don't even know if we really know what the passage of time is other than Eric is healing
For
long
3
enough
months,
in the
right?
hospital. Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Fun fact, that dude is actually a
Yeah.
He's a
heavyweight
champ, isn't he? Yeah.
kickboxer champion.
Yeah,
Like,
Dennis Alexio.
totally legit.
I believe it because he's got that mustache, man. You don't screw with that
Oh,
mustache.
yeah, you don't mess with
The
that
hair
mustache.
too.
Dude, he's got that Slater hair from Saved by the Bell. He's got that grease, the Jerry curl, the grease in there.
He's got Eddie Guerrero hair.
Eddie Guerrero, definitely. But I love his like opening fight, where we see everything happening and he's doing that title fight where he does those spinning backhands 2 or 3 times on that dude. Like that fight's badass. Like that's what sets the tone immediately with me with this movie.
I saw his name because I was looking at the trivia for it, and like that's a name that I know from like kickboxing and stuff like that. I didn't really know what he looked like, and I'd never realized it was him because it's been a while since I've seen this movie. But yeah, that's like a huge name in the kickboxing world. So
right,
that was pretty cool to learn that.
I wonder how much money they gave him.
Not as much as Van Damme.
Oh, of course not. Of course not.
But it was cool that I was gonna say it was really cool that because I don't know if he did it in Bloodsport, but JCVD he did like all the fight choreography for this movie, which I don't know if he's done that for all of his movies. If
I'm
that's
sure
like
he has been
almost
a part of it.
every movie
Oh, no
except for like
kidding.
maybe his very first.
The first couple.
I don't think he did it for No Retreat, No Surrender or Black Eagle or anything like that. God, that song, I love it.
The whole show.
But yeah, it's kind of like what he's known for is doing his fight choreography, and he gets as close to full contact as possible. When people can actually take it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Who knows what's real on the internet? You read stuff like he won't do actual fights in the United States because he'll get sued and stuff like that. Like I know he took out a dude's eye in Cyborg. That's what I know is legit. Oh yeah, the main bad guy in Cyborg, he took that dude's eye out, and that dude sued Cannon and Van Damme and won.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So thank God he kept wearing glasses through the rest of the movie because it fucked up his eye. Yeah.
Jesus.
So
Van Damme's really into it.
Where in Van Damme's career does this fall? I mean, this is
very early.
This is in the midst of the big muscly superhero action.
This kind of starts off his jump forward
because he looks really young in this.
Yeah.
movie.
Oh, he's super. I mean, when he says in there, he goes, "I'm in the best condition in my entire life." He's kind of right. Like, this to me is like peak Van Damme. I know he gets like stupid shredded for like Street Fighter.
Of course, when he's got
this, but this here, as him just doing movies, this is, I agree, peak Van Damme. But this is like, as far as big name movie, like maybe just his 4th or 5th.
Yeah, this is right after Bloodsport.
Yeah, it's a year after Bloodsport.
Year after, and then another one came out in '89. Was it Double Impact that came out in '89, or was that '90? Like literally, this was the start of every year. There was like at least 1 or 2 Van Damme movies.
Oh yeah,
every year. You couldn't. I mean, he was bankable, especially once Cannon kind of went out and he wasn't under their contract anymore. So he kind of took off, on his own and could command more money. And then it's like famous that he was supposed to be signed up for
Predator.
Well, he did Predator, but he was supposed to sign up for a 3-picture deal. They offered him $12 million per picture, and he turned it down because Jim Carrey was getting $20 million per picture. And so he felt like he was worth more, but that was also probably the start of the drug addicted version of.
Oh
yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. I didn't know
Van
about
Damme
that.
is fucking. He's Shred City. He's glistening. He's a great fucking fighter. But sorry, sir. As far as acting goes, I think Jim Carrey definitely deserves that.
Oh yeah, of course,
100%. Okay, here's this rundown. So starting in '85 was No Retreat, No Surrender, Bloodsports '88, Black Eagle '88, Cyborg '89, Kickboxer '89, Lionheart 90, Death Warrant 90, Double Impact 91, Universal Soldier 92, Nowhere to Run 93, Hard Target 93, Time Cop 94, Street Fighter 94, Sudden Death 95, and then that's when it starts. The Quest, which isn't bad, Maximum Risk, also not that bad, but they're never the level that the late 80s, early 90s Van Damme were.
Were they still focusing on his martial arts in those?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of those
yeah.
that was strictly
at
on
that
him.
time he's getting up there, and I mean, as far as an athlete is concerned,
He was getting up there, but we're also talking like late 90s. He did movies like Double Team with Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You know,
I fucking love that movie. I'll say
it's
here.
insane and
it.
hilarious, but you know, I didn't need a tiger at the end of the movie, so that's.
Well, JCVD isn't a very tall person, I don't think,
He's
and
not.
Rodman is.
Yeah,
That'd be a very.
Rodman's very tall.
The Worm. Got to do a movie with the Worm. You know, you made it when you're doing a movie with the Worm.
That was peak Rodman too. That's when he was at his peak.
Oh, dude, that was Carmen Electra like era of Rodman.
Yeah,
like good for him.
For him.
Good for him. Oh,
Good
bravo,
for her.
sir. No, probably not. Probably not.
I
think that was the start of the fall of Carmen Electra and the rise of Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Their
But
paths.
I want to
each other
ask
in
you
the night.
guys, what is your top 3 favorite Jean-Claude movies? If you had to guess.
Oh wow!
I know my
Universal
3.
Soldier is like stupid high on there. It might be my favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movie because I watch it constantly. This is probably the tough one. I think I like Bloodsport better than Kickboxer, just because I love the interaction between him and I always call him Ogre, but you know his buddy in that movie.
Yeah.
And you know what? People are going to be pissed off at me, and I don't give a shit. But I fucking love Street Fighter, so I'll fight anybody.
Fuck yeah, dude!
You know,
In the street.
in the street,
fight
God damn it!
anybody.
I will street fight everyone
Street fight in the
for
street.
Street Fighter. I love it. I did like his character in Expendables 2, but I would not call that a Van Damme movie.
No.
To put it up there.
No.
But I liked him as a really cool ass villain. So for sure. But Pete, what's yours? What's your top 3 Van Dammes?
I'd be
Pete's like,
hard-
I've seen 2. I don't
I'd
know
be hard-
anymore.
You're naming a lot of movies that I probably have seen. They've never been. I mean, Kickboxer. You had to remind me. Oh yeah, that's Van Damme. Okay. I did. Probably the most fun I had with Van Damme was recently when he came out with JCVD, the mini series.
Yeah.
What was that on? Like HBO or something? I forget.
I forget who got that one.
Yeah. Anyway, that was Jean-Claude Van Damme poking a little fun at himself and realizing that he's definitely at the end of his career and maybe he should just make some money and have a good time. And that was a lot of fun. I was hoping for a second season. I don't think we're going to get it. But the JCVD series was quite good. It was.
I'm just now remembering too, not to step on you, but it might remind you, Pete. Hard Target is really high the fuck up there for me.
Is it?
Because that's a John Woo, great
Oh,
cast.
I do think I remember that one.
Yeah, with Lance Hendrickson and
Yeah.
the dude that played the Mummy, all that stuff. That one I might actually bump Bloodsport off my list and put Hard Target up there because that movie's fucking awesome. Yeah.
Bjork, how about you?
Me. Mine is, dude. Anything with a B, I'll answer to it.
What's up, bitch?
Dude, I'll especially answer to that.
Oh, bitch.
Mine was probably Universal Soldier, Bloodsport, and I'm a fucking sucker for Sudden Death, man. I love Sudden Death.
That is actually a solid
That movie is so. That's probably definitely. I don't know. I probably watched Sudden Death more than anything, almost of Jean-Claude. Like that was one of my favorite movies growing up. Was Sudden Death. I
it
love
just
that
got
movie.
a 4K release too. So,
Really?
yeah.
I might buy it.
Kino Lorbo did it, but yeah.
Because I'm a big Penguins fan. So like it's in Pittsburgh Penguins Stadium. So I was like, you know what, this is
cool.
awesome. But yeah, that movie's so good.
It's an underrated one. Like
It
most
is.
people forget about it, and then you watch it, and you're like, dude, this is like action from beginning to end. Like as soon as they get into the stadium, it's basically his Die Hard.
Oh,
It's
exactly.
very much Die
That's what it
Hard.
is.
But
Super
God,
action.
it's so fucking good.
Dude, he kicked somebody with goalie skates on. Come on.
Yeah.
That is it's so insane. So insane.
I don't remember that.
He
Dude.
kills the mascot.
Yep. Yep. Dude, it's
Holy
insane.
shit.
Sudden Death is so good. I feel like a
Let's
lot
go
of
back
people
and
don't
watch
remember
that.
that movie or passed over on it.
And there's a helicopter at the end. That's all I'm going to
Right.
tell you guys right now. That's all
that
there's
movie
to
is
it.
insane. Charlie described it best. It's like his Die Hard. That's pretty much what it is. It's insane.
Josh, what about you, bud? What's your 3?
I'm gonna go with Bloodsport, and Street Fighter.
Bloodsport, Street Fighter.
Good choice.
Yeah, I'm happy you said Street Fighter on there because I thought I was gonna be the only one to say Street Fighter.
Hell no, man!
I love
that
Street
movie.
Fighter.
Fuck yeah,
The movie's a piece of shit, but I love it.
Julia as Bison. I fucking love.
Perfection.
I think
fucking
that
love him.
didn't he die right after that movie?
Shortly.
Very
shortly
close after it.
He
Yeah.
was
Sadly
dying.
dying during filming.
Yeah. I feel like that was the last movie he was in, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
It is.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
And
He
it's
only
probably
did it for his kid.
greatest role as far as I'm concerned. I do not care. I bought that steel book. It comes with bison bucks, so you get replica bison money.
Aw.
Damn, that's sick.
The I think it's the back of the steel book is his painting where he's riding the horse.
What?
Fuck yeah.
I
Dude, that's
fucking
so good.
Walmart got a redo of it because it was only at Best Buy, but if you can catch it at Walmart, it's like $25-30. But I highly recommend it.
That's
I
sick.
fucking love it. But yeah,
The only thing that upset me about Street Fighter is that
Blanca.
when I was a kid was Blanca. Like when
Yeah,
I was a kid,
I
like
was gonna
I
say.
loved Blanca as a kid,
Yep.
and then like when I saw him in the movie, it like upset me.
Yeah,
like,
they did him.
genuinely
They
upset
did him
me.
dirty in that.
well,
for
they
sure.
just couldn't do it.
I
you know what I
know,
mean, as
I
an
know.
adult, I can look past it because
True.
fucking I got everything. And let me tell you, Zangief is goddamn Zangief in there.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I fucking
Oh,
love
yeah.
that dude as well.
And he's perfect Guile. He's
Everyone
the
else,
perfect Guile.
everyone else is dead on. He just looked a little like if that movie was just made maybe a few years later with a little bit more money, I think we probably would have gotten something a little bit better.
Yeah.
than that.
I
But other than
almost would have been happier had they just not
that,
done
yeah.
Blanca
Same.
and just went with like a core group. Because by this time we're used to that. We don't need every character that's in the video games.
Well,
But
Mortal
you
Kombat.
save him
Or-
for the very end, so you
Yeah.
have a sequel set.
yeah,
up.
you have a stinger. There you
Exactly.
go.
Vega
But we're
was
not
nice.
doing Street Fighter tonight. We're doing
Oh, yeah,
Kickboxer,
yeah, sorry.
gentlemen.
We're doing us right now.
Because I can talk about Street Fighter all day long, and that would actually piss Nate off more because he's been trying to get that movie on the show for a while.
I say do it.
Well, we changed everything. We're doing Street Fighter now, Nate. Suck
Yeah,
it.
fuck it.
But no, it's the way this movie goes. Like after Eric gets paralyzed, it really kind of turns into this drama of Van Damme trying to find someone to train him
Right.
to fight, and in the style of Muay Thai, not the Americanized, which is where Eric screwed up.
Yeah.
He was not expecting an elbow blow. He called it an illegal move, and Van Damme's like, not here, bitch.
I got very little sympathy for Eric at this point because he comes over there swinging his big dick around, and he
Yeah.
doesn't, as a champion fighter, you didn't do any research on the local fighting styles. It's irresponsible as an
Yeah.
athlete.
Especially where it originated.
Yeah.
You would think that there would be some knowledge of, because they drop it on him too, like at the end of that fight, like, were you going to go over there and fight where it came from? He's like, I didn't even know any of this shit. I'm the best there is. Look at my
Right.
dick.
So that's actually I do have something to say about that. That's actually very, very realistic because anyone who knows like martial arts or like watches UFC, any of those things like that, like people were very unaware of other martial arts existence. You had your discipline, you trained in it, and you were like, this is the best one. I can beat up anybody. And anything else was like, if you trained anything else, your school would be like, go fuck yourself. So like that's like a real actual.
Well, it's how Hoist Gracie dominated
exactly.
for so long.
Dude,
No
insane.
one knew what to do with his fighting style.
Yeah.
Like this guy, and this was before weight class.
Yeah, he's beating heavyweight, like ultra heavyweights.
Yeah, that
he's
dude
beating
He
Emo.
choked out the sumo dude. Like that is the one I will forever remember. It was like two things. Don't let Hoist get on your back, and don't wear a goddamn gi when you're fighting Hoist Gracie,
yeah.
because he will choke your ass out.
Yeah.
Period. But yeah, I will always like when I think it's in Bloodsport, but when Van Damme actually takes off his outfit because the guy uses it against him, I'm like, this motherfucker knows who Hoist Gracie is. That's exactly what you learned right then and there.
But
no,
was,
yeah. But I like this, and I like they add the I guess what do you want to call it? Maybe the tropey, the guy that's been there since Vietnam, the other American there that's kind of there to watch his back.
His friend.
He needed somebody to speak English in a land that doesn't speak English, and he was a fine addition. I like that dude. He was
Winston.
He's beating
Winston.
women off left and right. These women, they can't get enough of my stuff.
No wonder why you never left.
Yeah, if it's that easy for you, go for it, man. I love it.
Absolutely.
That's right, man.
Yeah, he knew he's that convenient. What do you call it? A MacGuffin? Is that what you call it? Where he's the guy that knows where everything is and knows who to talk to and how to find this.
I think
he's just that convenient piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, because he knew who Zian was.
Right.
Yeah.
And
he knew where to get guns. He knew where all the best strip joints were.
That all comes, and it's like you're watching the movie, you're not really thinking about it. But then at the end of the movie, all of that exposition about him, because he's a weapons runner, he was, special forces. Obviously, he can kick ass. So it was kind of like, oh, it works if we add this guy in here.
Yeah.
At the end.
I got no problem with that character.
Oh, I have zero problem with it. I actually like him.
Or that trope, however you want to call it, that MacGuffin.
Yeah.
I have no problem with it. But yeah, it was very easy to pick that guy out straight away when he sits down right next to him and say, "You're getting sweat all over me."
Oh yeah, when he falls off. Yeah.
You're giving Americans a bad name, son. Get out of here. And then Van Damme's trying to find. Ends up with Zien, and I love every bit of the interaction with the sensei, the old sage, whatever you want to call him in this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I just love he gets caught in the trap, and he's just standing there with his arms behind his back, looking at him and going, like, don't know you,
Can you let me down? Don't know you.
Don't know you. No, not gonna. What do you want? Who are you? He's like, I'm here to train. Winston brought me. He just still looks at him like,
don't know you.
And I was expecting the and then from dude, where's my car? And then.
No, and then.
No, and then. Oh man, but I don't know. This is my issue. It's an action movie, 100%.
Sure.
But
no question.
It's not our normal action movies. It's not a lot of stuff. You got to really be into the training and the journey he's taking, because he's getting the shit beat out of him by Zien.
Mm-hmm.
It's Zian.
I think it's Zian.
Something like that.
I don't know. I think Winston called him Zang or something like that. But, he's teaching with all the different things, dropping the coconut from the tree on his stomach to learn how to take a punch, kicking the palm tree thing, which I can't watch that. I can't watch him kick that tree with his bare ass shin. Oh, dude, it makes my skin crawl. Just there's no way. And it's so fucked up too. He's like, all right, pack your bag and leave. I'm like, what, motherfucker? All this shit I just went through. He's like, no, pack your bag, get the fuck out. And he just fucking kicks that thing till it falls down. And then that bruise on his leg looked like it was real. Like I think he actually kicked that tree till it fell down.
Yeah, he definitely did.
He went hog wild on it. I mean, it's a lot like this is a lot like the first Rocky for me. Like first Rocky is very slow, but it has action obviously in it. But like it's very slow. It's like a Rocky movie to me. This movie.
I never even thought of it.
Brad
that way.
stole my thunder there.
I'm sorry, Pete.
No. This is what we do. This is good.
But I think that nails it exactly. I think the difference I like about this is you kind of get this, and I don't want to be like the person that's like, it's very zen, but you get this like calming nature when you're watching it, especially in a lot of just the cinematography they do of the training, especially when he's at the temple. It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Where they filmed all of that.
That's
the sunrise scene where he's in shadow, the temple's in shadow, and he's just doing all of the moves. Gorgeous. Like probably top 10 scenes in a movie that I'm just like, that is fucking amazing.
That would be worthwhile seeing in 4K.
Absolutely.
If it's cleaned up nicely. Because even on Tubi, it was real grainy, and I'm pretty sure it was the film at the time. It wasn't high quality film.
No.
It
just didn't look real good.
I
mean, the picture was clearly taken well. It was well shot. It had real shit film on that.
But that also is kind of what makes it a little more difficult to discuss about, is because it's like, oh yeah, remember what part when he caught the fish? Oh, you remember the part where he was under the water doing all his fucking moves and everything?
I fucking
and then
love that scene.
He floats back up and he pushes his head back down in the water.
I just
Am
love
I
that
done?
he's playing the fucking flute, and he's got like the most amount of reverb and echo on the flute.
That was the most synthesizer sounding flute I've ever heard. It was a synthesizer.
He had to compete with Stan Bush, who's going never surrender the entire fucking
Can't
movie.
argue that.
But there is a scene in this movie that this movie is probably more famous for than the fight at the end, than the fight at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's part of the training, and it's the bar scene where they go and they get his ass drunk.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the splits scene where
he does splits in every goddamn movie.
No,
other than it's still painful to watch.
Oh
my god,
it's
That's not how
painful
it
to
works.
watch. And there's points where I'm just like, why didn't you just go ahead and drop a coconut right then and there too? You know, just split him out, drop it down. We can make them balls of steel. But no, the fight where he starts dancing with the girls, and that is straight, like there's no choreography. That's just Van Damme dancing.
Van Damme hamming it up.
Probably a little drunk for real. Too.
Oh, definitely. Probably
kind of looked a little
He
drunk.
feels it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's definitely probably intoxicated.
And one of my favorite is where he like kicks everybody's ass. He walks back over to the table and clears the table off. And that dude like puts both arms down on the table, like looking badass. And he just freaking arm swipes the dude. And he face plants the table. Like, I love that one scene. That's my favorite of the whole drunken thing. Best thing though is they've somewhat remade Kickboxer. It's a Kickboxer Retaliation or Retribution, one of those fucking things. Van Damme is playing Zan, the mentor.
Damn.
And there's the new guy, I think he's an MMA fighter. I didn't look it up, but I've seen the movie. The movie sucks. Watch the end credits because the new guy does the Van Damme dance and they put both pictures up on the screen.
That's fun.
And you're watching the new guy do the same moves as Van Damme right next to him. And I'm like, worth it. The hour and a half I wasted, worth it. I think you can actually watch just that on
just
YouTube
the end
right
credits.
now.
Okay.
Yeah,
it looks like fun because I remember seeing some of the other Kickboxer movies, and they're not that great, but I remember them at least being fun. Like
the ones that like start with 2 with Sasha Mitchell and stuff, I really enjoy those. They kind of went more actiony, which is way more than what the first one is. But when they really started, like I think it was in the 2000s, is when they started like trying to rebrand the movie, and that's when Van Damme got brought in. I think I'm not 100% sure. It might be Batista, or it might.
I was
be
gonna say, isn't
big...
Batista? Isn't he?
I think Batista's in one.
Yeah, he's the bad guy in one of them.
Yeah, he's the villain. And there's like 3 that they brought back and tried to kind of redo the whole, Kickboxer lore.
Yeah,
they're not great. I mean, like I said, the Van Damme dance with the new guy doing the same dance.
Van Damme.
That's all I really needed. That's it. It's like Van Damme picture in picture. It's what they should have done in Double Impact, was the 2 of them doing the Van Damme dance side by side. And I would have totally been down for that. But yeah, I love that fight. We get the lead up to the actual fight, like when things finally start to happen in this movie as far as the fighting, and then they find out they have to do the fight the ancient way, which is badass as hell. Why do the bad guys never have faith in their dudes? Like, Tong Po has beat the shit out of everyone.
He's a killer.
Why rig the fight? Why? We're not going to talk about the scene, but why do what he did to, Miley?
Yeah.
And why kidnap Eric? Like, just let Tong Po kick his ass. Like, it's already stacked in his favor.
Exactly. No reason to think that like this dude's just gonna come and beat the fuck out of your fighter.
Yeah.
He beat the shit out of everyone else. So it's like, what does he have like a camera somewhere like up John Claude's ass? Like, oh, he's really training hard. I better.
The only thing that they even remotely show is when Freddie Lee goes to borrow money from the warlord.
Yeah, that
that's
guy.
all they ever call him. And he's like laughing him off, like, shut the fuck up. It's a white dude. And he's like, but he has been trained by Zhang. And the dude like literally just
freezes.
Fuck.
Yeah.
You know, that moment, that is a trophy.
Yeah. That's
100%. It's like, oh no, not that guy.
Give me $1 million.
Yeah, but you really got to hate these bad guys. And that was one of those things back in the 80s and 90s where you wanted, they really were tugging on the heartstrings of the audience. Like, you just want to see this guy.
Yeah.
The audience wants to beat up
but see,
the baddies.
I wanted Tong Po to lose because he crippled Eric. You know, so I already knew that dude was a piece of shit. And then you had the henchmen that were taking money from Miley's store, and you know, they do the fight. Like, there was enough, and then they do something that I even mentioned it to Jackie last night, because I was like, I remember the first time I watched this, I had no idea that was Miley for like 15 minutes when they kidnap her and take her to Tong Po. I was like, you could have fixed that by just showing them grab her from her store.
Yeah.
And they bring her there. It's such a hard cut.
A good job. I was like, who's this?
Yeah,
they found a girl for.
Yeah,
for
that's
dude.
how you exactly. When I remember the first time I watched it, I'm like, who's this girl?
Yeah.
And then it has to be like, she doesn't even really come out and say it directly till later when she's talking to Winston. And then you're like, oh shit, that's what they did. Why did they do that? Like, why not just kidnap her? Why kidnap, Eric and then just hold him? It was weird. And I think it was my only idea that I have is they did this movie and realized, shit, it needs more action, because the Winston part feels like they wedged it in to go and rescue Eric.
They needed to up the stakes a little bit more, because at that point it was all like, it was just simple like revenge. Like, you paralyzed my brother. There was no other like anything else to really lose after that point. So they had to like put something else in there to make you feel like more invested in it and more like, oh man, like he actually better win.
Right. And then, and Bill, like, you have to make it to the end. Let Tong Po punish you.
Yeah.
And it's like, you guys know Tong Po could lose. Ultimately, is what you are really admitting at this point.
Yeah.
And they just have to give this reason for Van Damme to hold back almost. To me, now watching it, I'm just kind of like, it kind of sucks. It's like, I love Chong Li in Bloodsport.
Yeah.
Never once did that motherfucker think he was not king shit. Never once did anyone not put money on Chong Li at the end of the fight.
Yeah.
And other than crushing up the tablets because Van Damme got a good kick on him because he figured out that his gut was sweetened the gut. That's the only time Chong Li got worried was, now, okay, I gotta beat this dude. And believe it, I mean, really, for the longest time, I got Bloodsport and Kickboxer mixed up all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
Like which one's what?
Yeah.
Who's Tong Po? Which one's Chong Li? I don't know. I'm trying not to be racist here, but that's really what I'm trying to ask. Which one's which? I don't know.
I don't think it's racism. I think it's such similar movie.
It's so similar. Well, Gib gets hurt, put in the hospital. Eric gets hurt, put in the hospital. And then the only difference is Van Damme's already trained.
Yeah.
For Bloodsport.
Yeah.
But again, he was trained by someone else. He wasn't part of that family. He just kind of earned that position. And then the son died and we have talked about every movie except for Kickboxer. You realize we've done that right now with this.
This is what happens when you ask Ted.
It's because we're on here.
It is. They are so against talking about the fucking movie they cover that they come on here and they're like, motherfuckers, we're not talking about Kickboxer. And they don't even have to say anything. I'm doing it automatically, and I'm just like, what is happening?
It's infectious.
We're in your brain.
All right, let's hit a commercial, and then maybe I can get these guys out of my ear.
You want a war? Well, you got it. right after this.
Sharks of the Corn? Virus shark? Cocaine shark? Sharktopus? Yeah, those are all real movies. Join me, Steve Coates, as each week I take a comedic look at the bizarre world of sharksploitation cinema on Bucket of Chum, the Shark Movie Podcast.
I didn't come here to talk. Lucky for you, they did.
You guys being attacked?
What was that? Oh, you hear the air raid in the background?
Yeah, we could hear the air raid in the background.
Oh, sorry, everybody. I live near a firehouse.
Oh no!
And people burning houses down.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Well, it's convenient if your house ever catches fire.
Right. True. They're right there.
They just walk over next door.
It's not that bad. We'll be back in 5.
You need some help?
It'll be okay. We'll drown it out, though. There we go. We'll drown that bad boy out.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. It just adds a little bit of ambiance and makes it impossible for me to edit anything.
Keeps you from getting back on the rails.
That's what it's been. It's been that low tone in the background that just keeps me like, why am I not talking about Kickboxer in this movie? It's because what I want to talk about Kickboxer is the last 15 minutes of the movie.
All right, let's get to it then.
It's the fight in the ancient ways.
Yeah.
It is, we are going to bind your hands. Oh, dude, the messenger all dressed up and everyone's like all scared looking. I'm like, dude's just the messenger.
Yeah.
Why y'all freaked out for? Zang's just sitting there reading it and then slaps it in the Van Damme's hand. I just wanted him to be like, I don't know what the fuck it says. Like,
what am I supposed to do with this?
I can't read this.
Yeah.
What was that? Balls of Fury, where they sent him the paddle, and it's like written in Chinese, and he's reading it, and he goes, yeah, it's supposed to be here, here, here. They're like, you read Chinese? He goes, no, it's in English on the other side.
That's a good joke.
Kind of has that same feel as this was like, I got an invitation. But I like it. I like the setup in the like temple looking thing with the dirt ring around.
It's a dirty place, man. You can.
Oh yeah.
This is there. There isn't a single person in there that probably isn't wanted for some sort of awful crime.
Multiple charges.
It's yeah, exactly.
Even Kiki the dog, I'm sure, has some warrants out on its arrest.
Or
you know?
Kiki.
The dog
Getting stabbed. I didn't like it.
Gets stabbed, and then he's okay. Like.
Well, he was still alive.
Minutes later.
Yeah. Again, he's still alive, and they took him to the doctor. Winston knows some good doctors.
Same doctor that Eric went to, I'm sure.
And that's
able to fix Kiki, but not Eric.
I saw it again, and I'm almost positive you guys have had like this run of dogs dying in your movies.
Oh yeah,
for some reason there for a while.
It was my fault.
It was my fault. At Brett.
You're blaming Bluto over there?
That was my birthday month.
Yeah, this motherfucker was just like,
there's like 3 movies in a row I picked.
Not just like a bad dog, like a terrible fucking dog death.
2 of them were definitely terrible.
Yeah.
Dog deaths.
Of course, and then you come over here and there's a dog that gets hurt. It
dog
doesn't die, thankfully.
It doesn't.
So.
Yeah, it doesn't die. That guy gets hooked in his taint by a fucking like meat hook thing.
Yes, he did, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, dude, that was.
No, that's for
rough.
Kiki.
Damn right, that's for Kiki. And I mean that whole rescue, because we'll talk about the ancient fight in a second, but the rescue during the ancient fight is Zang going through and he's kicking a few dudes' ass, and they get the drop on him. And you're just like, oh shit, he's done, he's toast. And then you get missing in action Chuck Norris blowing up the wall, shooting a machine gun, killing someone in the movie for the first fucking time.
He kills a lot of people.
You would think that. Wait till we get to the body count.
Oh, it's less than 10, isn't it? I bet it's less than 10.
But yeah, so you get like this spectacular rescue. That hook going up dudes. I don't know if that. I think that missed the taint and went straight through sack.
The sack
and gave the dude a Prince Albert.
Oh no! I'd rather be dead.
I'd rather be dead.
Just kill me. Hit me with that machine gun a couple times.
It's funny. Oh, sorry, Charlie.
No, go ahead. No, go.
It's funny you said Chuck Norris, because I was reading that Chuck Norris was actually who they wanted for.
Oh yeah,
John Claude's character.
I don't think Chuck Norris could have pulled this off. He was too old. He was too old at the time.
Too old to take the training. Yes.
No,
too
no,
old.
but he needed to be a younger brother.
Nice.
True. And he's nowhere near as shredded as John Claude in this movie. That dude is damn at the end.
Yeah, he had way too much chest hair for him to do a shirtless scene.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
why do you
Chuck
think?
Norris.
Why do you think he always wears a shirt? Except
I know
the one-
exactly. I got quite a Chuck Norris collection, sir. I know exactly. Bruce Lee had him take a shirt off, and he punched him, and he's like, he didn't even feel it through all that
No,
fucking
no.
hair on his chest.
Bruce Lee was saying, "Take the damn sweater off, dude."
That's right.
This is me.
You're supposed to be skins, motherfucker. I'm sure. But, and then like I said, we get into the Ancient One fight, and I love it. This is to me, this just makes the movie.
Yeah,
hands bound,
so brutal,
dipping in that resin, and they just rub them into that broken glass. Although Hot Shots Part 2 has ruined me for the rest of my life because that scene pops up, and I'm sitting there going, sprinkles, jelly beans, sprinkles, jelly beans. And I just can't watch that scene without singing that song.
It's the worst when movies ruin other movies.
They ruin other movies that they're parodying perfectly too, might I add.
But it's so good though when it happens.
It's great. He dips it in the caramel, the M&Ms, and the other dude's doing the glass, and that's the best part. Is he's dipping in the resin, the glass, and Charlie Sheen's just like like he's at Baskin Robbins trying to figure out what
granola.
Holy shit.
And this fight, I mean, Van Damme has to kind of hold himself back, and he's fighting, but man, just fighting with glass. Not is it just the cut; it's getting fucking shards of glass.
Those are sharp cuts, and you bleed.
Yeah,
no,
bleed
100%.
So bad.
I love this fight. I mean, these guys, like I said, they're peak physically. Like Michael Kesey is freaking ripped from head to toe, minus the makeup they put on that poor dude's face. Like,
how could he?
You didn't have to cake it on. Okay, it looked like his forehead was melting in some of the scenes.
He looked like a shitty. He looked like a shitty Goro to me from Mortal Kombat.
He did look like a shitty Goro.
That's what this whole scene reminded me of, was like a Mortal Kombat fight, because like even where they're fighting looks like a Mortal Kombat stage.
Pit fighter.
Well, I hate to tell you this. Mortal Kombat saw Kickboxer, and that's where they put a lot of that. Well, I mean, Johnny Cage is Jean-Claude Van Damme. He was he was actually in talks not long after this of being Johnny Cage, and again he wanted way too much fucking money.
So good.
Oh man.
But yeah, so all of the scenes, like mostly from like Mortal Kombat, are from movies we grew up with, like Kickboxer and shit like that, and all the arenas and stuff. Not to be like that mansplaining guy or anything, but there's a reason when you watch it and you get this vibe. It's like, where have I seen this before? Like, where's the spikes? Someone's gonna uppercut someone. They're gonna fly through the air and land on the spikes. Fatality.
Dude, so good.
But no, this fight's one of my favorites. And then he gets and I think I get what Dad's upset with. He's getting his ass kicked, but then all of a sudden, Eric's okay, everybody's okay, and now he can let loose. So he gets like the Hulk Hogan, like hit me again.
Start shaking on the ropes.
Just start shaking. Every time, just take another punch, I get stronger. Another punch, I get stronger, brother. Here it comes. The Eagles. I'm ready to fight.
Dude, when that eagle flashed on screen, and it's like, because normally like the eagle will open its like beak and shit, and it's just super majestic, but it's like weird little tongue like sticks out.
Yeah,
so fucking funny. I almost shit my pants.
Yeah, that part was out of control.
I love it.
It's insane. And then he's like getting the visions of all the ancient fighters before him.
Yeah,
and it's like they're powering him up. He's like, I am one with every. He's like, I am the Jedi, and he gets ready to fight.
Yeah, who's too old?
Pete
now
just died inside right now. He's like, you motherfucker. He's not fighting Palpatine. Shut up. He's not fighting Palpatine. He's fighting Freddie Lee, because he gets Tong Po out of that ring and beats those fucking punches and kicks when he's up against, like you said, Brett. Just that's all you remember is that scene right there.
The one before
when he jump kicks him,
like when he jump kicks him in the face, like when he's still in the ring, that looked real as fuck.
Yeah,
you see his face head,
move.
like the way that his head goes back, on his neck, that looked super real.
Yeah, that was very good.
I almost believe like there's some contact. Was him and Michael Kesey are like best friends. They
they
grew
were
up
sparring
together.
partners.
Yeah, so I got a feeling it's like, okay, I'm gonna hit you in the face a little bit.
Yeah,
and that's it's kind of like what Van Damme even
Try not
became.
to follow through with the hit.
Yeah, but it's like aside from the splits, his jumping roundhouse kicks, man. It's just the way he can extend his legs out. And then that just makes when they're outside of the ring and he's kicking the shit out of Tong Po and he does that kick and his leg is like fucking perfectly straight.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just like you couldn't walk up to him and bend his leg if you wanted to. Like you're not moving it. And then he fucking takes the shit out of Freddie Lee there where he's standing.
Yeah, he never puts his leg down.
Yeah.
No.
Like the whole time.
He just comes around and kicks around.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Pete.
It's a beautiful thing to see a martial artist. That is one of the most impressive things a martial artist can do is just stand there on one leg with the other foot up. And he turns around and he whacks somebody in the head a couple of times.
Just doesn't have to reset.
One
his
of those
button.
things I just like, how, my God, the strength of this person.
And it's all in camera. It's not like they cut it either.
Oh, no.
Like, it's all right there and he kicks it. But that doesn't, one of my favorite things before that happened was Freddie Lee getting nervous. And he looks like he's trying to get up, and then all of a sudden the camera turns, and Zhang's sitting right next to him. He puts his arm on his shoulder, like, no,
you sit down.
You're gonna sit right here.
And then Winston takes the thing that rings the bell when
all the gong dudes gong.
When he falls out of the ring. He's like, "No, you ain't doing that.
Ain't no bell today, Bubba."
Yeah, no one's calling this fight till it's done."
And he picks up a fucking like torch and runs at John Claude.
Well, you had to throw back to Zhang doing the training with the lit torches.
Oh yeah,
you always have to have that moment of coming back.
I forgot about that. Correct.
Yeah, because remember in Bloodsport he had to fight with the blindfold on.
Yep.
And that just led up for when Chong Li blinded him.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can fight.
Damn.
That's the tropes. That's the tropes right there, Pete. It's like, oh, that's gonna come back into play eventually.
Oh yeah, that's telegraphed, but
that's very clever, there, movie makers. I had no idea.
Damn,
man. It sounds like we didn't like this movie, but I didn't need to tell you all this. I love this fucking movie.
Oh, I didn't like it. It's just it's so easy to make fun of and laugh and have a good time.
Yeah,
with
and
it.
Like I said, it's like, are we just going to sit here and talk about the entire montage? And not really. No, I don't want to. You know, there's some funny scenes. There's some really cool shots. But overall, you know, it's first fight. And I mean, we didn't even talk about there's a middle fight that's just like,
when
what
he knocks
the hell?
Right. Just to show
I like the blow for blow kick to the midsection. You know, that show of strength type thing.
They're just roundhouse kicking each other.
Yeah, body
hard as they can.
Well, it's just seeing, because it's like, okay, you hit, and whoever falters, now you're just like laying into that motherfucker, and he's like, ow, quit it, stop it. That's how the fight felt, anyway.
Yeah, no,
it
was.
I say we get into the things. What do you guys
Let's
think?
do it.
Yeah.
Leave anything for us?
Just bodies. Body count. Body count. Body count. Body count.
Oh, boys. I picked this movie. I specifically picked this movie.
I'm glad you did.
I'm glad you did too.
And I'm I'm still okay with putting it on the month of action, because there's some action in this, and I do love the infight, but there's only 4 people that die in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
4. Winston explodes 2 with the grenade launcher at the beginning, kills 2 with the machine gun fire, and they do not count the dude with the hook up his nuts because he's still screaming when they walk out of the building.
But it's also weird because, like, you see people run into, like, that little cubby area upstairs, and he launches the grenade up there literally right after, and the whole place blows up. Like, how did those people not die? Wow.
Just going off of what you can actually see, you know, that would be like, yeah, that dude's not alive. So I would call it potentially a 5th, but that dude probably pees out the side of his dick instead of the front of his dick. So we'll call that the ouchie award on that one.
Ouchie.
So there's only 4. We know what the kills are. It kind of does screw up what we do with our kill of the week. So I think we just make this favorite moment of the movie, be it the training montage, be it one of the fights, be it just something that happens in the movie. What was your favorite?
Have you ever killed anyone?
Yeah, but they were all bad.
Josh, we're going to start with you. What's your favorite moment of Kickboxer?
Oh man, it's the dance scene. Like it's amazing. It's like one of the most memorable things about this movie, and just that whole scene in general, like surrounding it, was like it's just so much fun because you're like, oh, he's taking him, like doing good with his training, gonna take him out for a drink, and then he sets him up. And he
totally
like,
set
just
him up
drunk and beats the shit out of these people, drunken master style, starting it off with the best dance moves that I've ever seen, aside from Crispin Glover in fucking Friday.
Oh,
Part
please
4.
don't. No,
Mm-hmm.
no.
So
no clowny
short
clown.
of that.
Why those guys try to fight me? I told him that you said you no good fighters and their mothers have sex with mules.
Yeah.
So ridiculous.
I guess they would come and fight me for that.
I'd fight you for that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's definitely not going to happen. All right, Bert, what about you, bud? What's your favorite moment of Kickboxer?
Mine's still probably still the end when fucking Tung Pao gets. I said Tung Pao. Is that Tung Pao correct?
Tong Po.
Tung Po. When he gets fucking kicked right in his face on that statue and he slides down. That is like my favorite part. Probably one of my favorite parts of a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie is that part.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. I see that. I don't know. I like your discharge Sarge. I mean, if I had to put it on it, shred Dolph Lundgren and scatter him out across the field. They're cool. If you like, dude not dying and falling down the pole because he's greasy.
Well, Universal Soldier is a whole other different beat. That movie is so good.
I just give you shit. All
I know.
You like what you like, okay?
From this movie, that's why I like.
There you go. All right. Pete, what's your favorite moment of Kickboxing? You can't say the credits, although you could because the music's badass.
Oh, it's the dancing leading up to Drunken Master. It was so very entertaining. It's very silly. You're like, no, don't stop that. Stop. Oh, okay. Lean into it. Let's see some more. And he just goes for it. It's very silly. It's a little out of place for a movie like this, but I think at this time we had been watching a lot of training going on, and there's time for levity.
They needed to mix it up. We
needed a break from the ultra serious training montage. Yeah.
No, I'll agree with that.
Yep.
I mean, if I'd have went first, I probably would have been like you
up.
guys and been like, yeah, I love the dance montage because there's 2 scenes in there I love the most. And that's when I talked about where he knocks the dude's arms out from under him and he face plants. I also like the dude that picks up a table and just holds it in front of him and he kicks him into the river.
What a weird bar that was. It had water in it. Yeah, it's
such a weird one. It's like it's running under it. But I'm going to pick like an actual fight, kind of like what Bert did. But I'm going to go with Eric's fight at the beginning where he does those 2 spinning backhands on that dude that he's fighting. Like those, they felt powerful. Yeah. Like it felt like he was up against like a sparring partner of his. And it's like he whips that arm around and he does it like twice right in succession.
The Foley is really good. When it lands, it's
exactly
a thud.
Like if you didn't actually make contact, I believe you did though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I agree. So I think I'm going to go with that because that sets the mood for what type of fighting you're going to be seeing in this. Oh, yeah. And that Eric could stand up to things and he kind of holds his own pretty good starring with Jean-Claude Van Damme. It's not like I got a skinny little brother and I got to protect him all the time. It's, they both know how to fight and they poke fun at Van Damme for doing the ballet and so, which he actually did, So I like that they throw that in there a little bit.
That's why he's so dang flexible, I bet.
It said it was like, if you can do ballet, you can just about do anything.
Eddie George, running back for Ohio State, took ballet as a kid.
Yeah.
Valentina Shevchenko, one of the women's UFC fighters, is a ballerina, and she's real good.
Dude, just for core strength and balance, I can see exactly how.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, your footwork and everything. So, but we'll go with that. I think those are good without 4 random dudes that get shot up for our deaths. So I like how we did that. So that'll work. All right, let's rate this bad boy.
Yes.
Eagly's kicking everyone's ass.
Fuck yeah.
Let's see. I want to start with Pete because I picked this movie for Pete because I wasn't sure how he was going to respond to some of the other ones this month. So
this movie's fine. It's a 6.5. It's fine.
Fair.
It's as far as muscly, dumb 80s action movies are concerned, this is one of the ones you can watch.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks for that color commentary, Pete. All right, Josh, how about you, sir?
Oh my god. I'm gonna have
you gotta follow that, sir. All right.
It's hard.
I mean, this is I haven't seen it as much as like Bloodsport or whatever, but this is one that sticks out for me as a child, even though I remembered it incorrectly from a child. But I'm gonna go with an 8 for enjoyment factor because I have so much fucking fun watching this movie. It's a giant bag of cheese, but you know what? Cheese is fucking delicious. So I'll gobble that shit up.
Unless you're Nate, which he loves to eat it. It always pays for it later.
Cheese, no.
So
Bad idea.
8 eagles out of 10.
Oh, 8 eagles. I'm not going to hit the button 8 times though. So that's
Thank you.
That's okay.
Bartholomew, what are you rating this bad boy?
I'd probably rate this like 7.5 because like it is super cheesy. Like I was telling Josh before, like this movie kind of reminded me, watching it now as an adult, it kind of reminded me a little bit of like a Jackie Chan-esque movie from back then, like early 90s, like weird like training and like I don't know. It just seems I remembered it not being as goofy, I guess, from when I was younger. But then as an adult watching, I'm like, damn, this movie but then again, I was thinking this was Lionheart as well, so it's like I don't know. I was mixing like 3 movies up watching this shit, and I was like, oh yeah. And then I remembered, but 7.5 because it's goofy, but John Claude is still John Claude in this movie, and he kicks the shit out of people, so I'm here for it.
Solid.
You're up, evil overlord.
It's a disservice to give this thing any lower. I don't disagree with you, Pete. I'm with you because I know you're not huge onto the Van Dams and stuff like that. I'm gonna be like an 8.5 just because this is like I still say this is like peak Van Damme as far as physically.
Oh yeah.
It's way up there as far as end fights. Like I love this fight between him and Tong Po. There's just other Van Damme movies I'll watch before this one, but I will watch this. Like I bought the Steelbook. I have the Blu-rays. I've probably got like 3 copies of this movie floating around if I dug through my collection. And it's just good. Like it's an hour and a half. Like this movie isn't overly long. I never felt like, Jesus, hurry up. Even though there's some slow parts, it was never, come on, get out of the goddamn temple. I don't want to see the eagle anymore. Just do something. I do wish they'd have maybe added a little bit more of his journey in the fighting. Like we got the one fight and then you got Tong Po. Like I kind of wanted a couple of more sprinkled in.
Go up the ladder a little bit.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Walk back into that training place that laughed at him and go kick everyone's ass, and be like, oh, you didn't think I could take Tong Po? I take all your asses and just kick them all out in the middle of the street. Would have been totally fine. But it's definitely enjoyment. It's a classic Van Damme. It's one everybody should see.
I agree with that.
Yeah. It's highly recommended from here. Definitely fits the month of action. But I think I forgot how much of a montage it actually was till I said
I really like what Barb said though, that this is more akin to Rocky than it is.
That was a
action.
Perfect comparison, honestly. And I don't consider Rocky an action movie.
That's what made
it's a sports drama.
It's what made that so.
And honestly, take out Winston with the guns in this movie,
and it's Rocky.
it's kind of Rocky. Maybe Rocky 4, you know, a little bit more intense of a fight at the end.
Rocky 4, even Rocky 3.
Yeah, Rocky 3 also, you know, Mr. T. Love me some fucking Mr. T. And I like the Rocky movies. Just because I say they're not an action movie doesn't mean I don't like the movies.
Of course.
It's just they're not action. They're sports drama. And this one, like you're supposed to feel bad for Van Damme. He's worried about his brother. He's going through the row of emotions. That's drama, you know. And then badass fights. That's how we bring the guys back into this. Jackie was enjoying it. You know, I haven't said a whole lot about her watching it, you know, but again, this was just one of those where she's like, okay, they're fighting. Okay, cool. I see it. Okay.
Well, why are they doing that? There was no boobs in it, so she didn't have an opportunity to roll her eyes.
No, but they had the red light district that just had the strip clubs.
I suppose you did have the one, but they weren't naked in it, were they? They had pasties.
They had little tassels.
They were close.
They had tassels.
Okay,
yeah. They were close.
I think
so you had some under boob and some side boob, but no nipple boob.
I think there's just like one picture when they're doing that pan across.
Very
flat. Just watch your wallet. She doesn't want the wallet, kid. She wants to make it with the champion.
Oh my God, dude.
Love Eric.
So good.
All right, well, that's Kickboxer. Boys, thanks for jumping in on this one, filling in for Nate.
Oh, thank you so much.
He didn't know what to say for this one. Why don't you tell the fine people a little bit about T.E.D?
Yeah, we at the Evil Deaths pretty much do what we made Charlie do today, where we pick a movie, but we don't say anything about it really throughout the whole podcast episode. We'll talk about everything else but the movie for about 10 minutes. We'll talk about that movie, and then the rest of it, we're off the rails.
Yeah, if you read the title of an episode, don't plan on hearing anything about the movie. Plan on hearing about some other fucking movie.
We'll talk about movies surrounding that movie. That's pretty much what we do.
But it's a good
exactly
time.
what happened tonight.
It's the most accurate description of a podcast I have ever heard in my life. It's wonderful chaos. Go to listen to Ted.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having us.
Yeah, it was a great time.
Always a fucking blast hanging out with you guys. You know, I'm happy that bread got let out of the fucking bread box.
Finally, Jesus.
Bread out of the bread box.
Been
he is a little white toast,
there.
Isn't he? Yeah.
Oh, dude, he's fucking a glass of milk and a paper plate in a snowstorm.
That's because he's been in the basement the whole time. There's no sun. You got to let that boy out in Rome. Hook him to the chain in the middle of the yard and let him run around in circles.
Josh, you got to be nicer to Benchy there.
Hey, I'm trying to be nicer to Broomstick, but you know,
I'm pretty sure at this point Pete has a tab open with what names start with B, and he's just going down. He hasn't wrote down.
He's doing good so far. He's doing good. He hasn't repeated one yet.
He hasn't doubled up once. I'm waiting for Borat to come out or something. Like
oh, dude.
The next one is Blunt, but I don't know. Yeah.
Blunt man. All right. Well, this is episode 4. Episode 3 as far as recording, so Pete doesn't lose his mind. But episode 4, as far as our month of action is concerned, we have one more to go. And it is going to be Rambo First Blood Part 2.
Oh,
I am super excited.
That's the best one, in my opinion.
A lot of people's opinions.
You know, it's
second.
I struggled with, do I do this one, which probably is my favorite, or do I do the fun one that's also my favorite, which is Rambo 3? Because that movie is a lot of goddamn fun.
Yeah.
But I had to do 2 first. Pete, you are not held to any kind of standard. You're going to like what you like and not like what you don't like. You're not going to hurt my feelings. It's why I gave you some, softballs this month.
You don't need to protect me. You're not my Eric. I'm fine. I'm an adult man.
I'm going to fight for you, Pete. I will beat Tong Po for you.
Van Damme was supposed to be an American in this movie.
Well, they always do this in a lot of his movies. Is Eric was raised in America. Van Damme was raised in Europe or like France or something with his mom.
Yeah.
So they do that again, I think, in Double Impact. He's French Canadian in Bloodsport, so that's why
that would make
French
a lot of sense.
Accent. He's in Louisiana in Hard Target, so he has that Cajun, which has that Quebec. Because there's a lot of
Creole,
people, from that area, so that works there. They always try to explain his accent in the early movies. And it's just like, just fucking let him be who he is, you know? That's like trying to explain Dolph Lundgren. He's not Russian, people. Do we not understand the man's Sweden? Not Russian. He's the Russian in every goddamn movie, though.
It's true, though.
Yeah.
It is very true. Red Scorpion, Rocky IV, He-Man. I'm pretty sure he was Russian in He-Man. I don't know. He probably was. Big,
Russia's
tall,
right next to
blonde-looking
an
dude.
attorney, I'm pretty
That's
sure.
right. Yeah, I think it isn't that the
that's
spot
how,
between it and Alaska. It's like you
Mhm.
go Russia,
Yeah, that
Eternia,
little
then
island
Alaska.
between- yeah, mhm.
Actually, it's called Tomorrow and Yesterday, isn't it? The Tomorrow Island, yes, because it's directly in the middle of the time meridian. I'm using words.
Time meridian.
One is like one day, like they're fully 24 hours
Yeah.
apart, but they're like
Yeah.
less than a mile apart.
Oh.
Damn.
Yeah.
That'd be
Pretty wild. Earth. We should visit it sometime. All right, boys. Well, that's going to wrap it up. If you want to follow us along, you can check us out over at Give Me Back My Action Movies, the Facebook group. Give Me Back My Horror Movies, the Facebook group. Both of us are on Instagram. Nate is still active on all that stuff. He has not left. He is still doing all of the social medias and postings and chatting and all that stuff, and he's promoting. So he's still there. You can also find us over on TikTok. We are on X. We are on, what's the other one? Threads. I don't ever
really
post
one?
on Thread.
Why?
Nate
Are you
has
on-
it
are you on
auto
Mammoth
share.
yet?
What? What's that?
I thought that was the new one.
I don't know what any of them are. I almost left them the other day. TikTok took down, or didn't take down, but they suppressed my last Starfighter video. It was the television commercial. It was as milquetoast as Bert. And they said, this is not available for the For You page. I had 2 views. I was like, you motherfucker. So I figured out how to go through and like fight it. And they said, well, if you don't agree with this, just send it. I sent it over. They overturned it. And I had like 800 views the second they overturned. I'm like, see, the people fucking want this. The people want the last Starfighter. Goddamn it. Don't suppress my fucking videos anymore, you Chinese. Anyway, Pete got real worried real quick all of a sudden.
Oh, it's getting spicy in here.
Nate would have passed out the second that word come out of my mouth. All right, boys, sing us out of here with Never Surrender.
Never surrender. Never give up when some dude fucks your brother up. You gotta learn how to fight real good and kick his ponytail bald ass. Oh, God. Oh, Nate. Miss you, buddy. Can you hear me? Nate, are you there? Oh, there he is. He transformed into an eagle and has been watching over us this
Is
whole
Nate
time.
Manimal now?
I didn't want to tell anybody, but Nate's been here the whole time. He's the eagle.
Fuck yeah. You know what?
This
I
is
knew
Beast
it.
Wars right here.
That eagle had a specific look about him. I was like, you know what? That
tongue flick. I knew it was
tongue
him.
flick. I was like, it's fucking. That's Nate.
He's not our regular American bald eagle. He was some other like slightly balding eagle from the that area.